So we're doing the Squawking 7 top favorite fear moments. Your favorite moment, what part do you like to watch over and over again? What made you stand up and cheer on Fear the Walking Dead? You know what? You could be here and be part of this recording right now and be putting your answers in the comments with us that we could read out right now if you were here. And it's so easy to do. Dave, how do they do that?
You do that by heading over to either ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead. You don't have to buy us a coffee or join a membership tier. Just follow for free because that's where we post our recording schedules. We don't post them on social media.
Can I segue into mine now since it's the same?
Yeah. Keep the conversation going.
I didn't grow up on wrestling like my husband did. Like my husband watched wrestling from the time he was like a little boy. I'm talking like old wrestling, Hacksaw, Jim Duggan and stuff like that. I got into wrestling in the late 90s. So at the like pinnacle, just beautiful part of just bad wrestling and like just so cheesy storylines, but so awesome. The Attitude Era.
Great wrestling, bad acting.
Right? Yeah, the Attitude Era. Yeah. For some reason, I got back into it in my 20s. And even now, still, Travis and I will watch wrestling on occasion. Now, he's a really big wrestling fan, so we watch old wrestling matches and color commentary on old wrestling matches. That's what we watch a lot of. There's a lot of great YouTube channels for that, so we watch a lot of that. We don't watch so much anymore. But having them do that in a Walking Dead property, I loved it. Okay, I loved Z Nation for its over-the-top cheesiness, and I remember going on Reddit after this episode aired because I was just starting to like dip my toes into the world of being involved in the online community. I think I met you during the break in between season 7.
That sounds right. Pandemic in February, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's the first meet.
I went on Reddit and people were like, God, this is like the giant cheese thing in Z Nation. Like, this is so stupid. And I just remember being like, this is awesome. And if it was this all the time, I like would not be mad. I loved that Aisha Tyler was in that episode too. And she's great. She directed that one, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the scenes with
she directed
Dwight
a lot
and
of episodes.
in the bar.
She did. Yeah. She's a huge fan of the show and the franchise, which I love.
She also directed JD, which is the one where June meets Senior.
And Sherry almost falls off the horse. Is that the same one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which we still have a gif of.
When June reads John's letter and everybody cries a lot.
Which is a great episode. I will say, though.
But we prefer to focus on Christine falling off the horse.
That's fine. No emotional.
That was the one where all the walkers were callbacks to other parts of the June Walker and June,
well, and mostly a lot of June walkers.
Yeah, all the different Junes.
I just wanted to say we covered at the time, and I had said at the time that I could take or leave the wrestling. I think the world is better having it. And I think I like that people appreciate it. It just wasn't for me. I didn't dislike it even. It was like,
shut up, Dave.
It's ambivalent.
I like it. I like it when they do different things that appeal to different people. Too. I mean, I understand that it doesn't land with everybody. I watched wrestling with my dad when I was a little kid. Wrestling was a big deal in my household too. So I liked it.
I did too. I liked wrestling with my friends.
And they did a great job executing it.
My classmates, we used to draw each other's as wrestlers and our teachers, and we'd fight against them on paper. This is how like into wrestling we used to be. But I don't know. I grew up.
It's kind of like how everybody hated the TV sequences. Channel 9.
5?
No, Channel 4. Excuse me.
Channel 4,
which was season 509. Everybody hated that, and I didn't. I thought it was fun. Like, do something different.
I agree.
Of course, I say that, but I hate it in dreams. So.
Did you hate it or you just didn't care for it?
No, I actively hated it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's always feast or famine with you. Okay. All right. I'm going to go through my brain and I'm going to choose a moment.
You know,
I picture David's brain like a Rolodex.
He's going to edit all this out so that he looks like so smooth. You mother.
Just the cuts are going to be great for this one.
Okay. While he's doing it, I'm going to be doing this. And then people are going to be like, why is she giving
Why is she so mean to him? Because that's all that'll be left. It's like just middle fingers to Dave. Okay, so I am going to choose the introduction of Alex from the early seasons. I think it was season 2 because season 1 was like nothing episodes, right? On the boat. Why I liked it so much. I liked the character a lot and I saw so much potential, much like the way most people see Tobias. I saw way more potential in Alex. You're thinking to yourself, who is Alex, right?
Is it the
Rachel,
girl
you have that face.
on the raft?
On the
it's the
raft.
raft?
Okay.
That's right.
Oh.
So I was
this
like, is that the
Dwight-
cosmonaut that Strand is talking to?
That's why I liked it, Bridget,
Okay.
because it was an extension of Flight 462.
462. I think that's the name of it. Yeah, the webisodes.
The webisodes that they were like going really hard on the first 2 seasons, I think it was. And I liked the character. She was like kind of the heroine of those episodes, and having her come on to Fear proper was pretty cool. But sadly, she swore her revenge and never showed up again. I still have hope for season 8. I don't.
They're gonna pull a Morales. She'll show up for 1 second, get her face bitten off or something,
Aw.
and you'll be like, "Oh,
I'd be
cool,
okay with
thanks,
that.
guys.
I think she would be too. She's like, I did it, guys. I'm gonna go home now. Got my paycheck.
Got that pay."
I satisfied Dave. That's all that matters. That sounded really weird.
Sounded bad.
I'm okay with it. Let's keep
move along.
going.
Let's move along.
My number 6 is when Dwight finds Sherry. Even though Dwighty Boy started out as such an asshole and we all hated him and he did horrible, terrible things, I think his character has a really, really nice redemption arc. And man, I just remember the emotions I was feeling when we heard Sherry's voice over the radio and he recognized her voice, and we all we all knew who it was, and I was just like literally had the vapors.
The vapors.
Yeah. And then he went out in the alleyway, and I'm just like whenever I'm watching the show, like any scenes, I always imagine like, what if it were me? What if it were real? What if, right? To finally find that person after searching for so long. I mean, he literally chased her across the flipping country. I mean, it just so happens that they're gonna show up but you know, it's a show. We're gonna believe it because we believe in happy endings.
That really was a sweet moment, even though I was too upset, because that was the episode right after
That
it was
was
6-3.
Alaska, wasn't it? So that was 6-4, I think.
No, 6-4 was the
So
key.
6-3.
So it was 6-3.
Okay, then it was 6-3. Then it was 6-3.
I love that whole episode because of the dynamic with Dwight and Althea.
Right?
Al and Al, yeah.
I mean,
It's
Al.
also where I got our first hint of Teddy, because we had the embalmed walker that spit the cotton out in Al's face when she attacked her. That was so gross.
Right. It was sewn up, and then it
Sewn
Right.
up in her face, and she popped her face.
the one reaction that we all sort of had across the board, even Sharon D at the time, even though she wasn't on the show, was like, why are we shouldn't be crying. Why are we crying? Because we're like, should we be crying? It was like, yeah, let's just lean into it because of Dwight and his history, but we couldn't help ourselves. That's what makes it a great moment.
I had very mixed emotions, but yeah, overall I was happy.
We were trying to not, but we couldn't not.
One of the things that pushed me into watching The Walking Dead finally was I asked one of my friends, because Dwight had come back, and I was like, was Dwight a good guy or a bad guy on The Walking Dead? Because I still hadn't watched it. And she was like, well, and I was like, okay, I guess I need to watch this show and find out what the hell's going on. So thank you, Dwight. You're the reason I started watching the main show for the most part.
There we go. There's another reason to like Dwight.
Also, I mean, he's gonna show up later in my list. My number 6 is the airplane sequence when they take off in 508. Is anybody out there? And I like it because it involves everybody. You've got Alicia and Strand in the cockpit, Morgan and Grace getting on the airplane, John and Dwight catching up to the airplane, Annie and all the kids on the airplane. And then while that part is going on, you've also got Sarah and Wendell and Daniel setting up the runway where they're going to land. And I just love that whole sequence. I love when everybody's in it and we get a little bit of everybody. So the part where the plane takes off, which is exciting because you're wondering if John and Dwight are going to make it back in time, which of course they are. Of course, you know they are. But then while they're on the plane, you have Grace breaking Morgan's stick and throwing the end of it off the plane. And all the kids being comforted. And then you got John and June's proposal, which of course I love. But then you also have Alicia and Strand
telling Alicia, right?
Well, no, he says your mother'd be proud of you, she'd be proud of you. And Alicia said, she's not the only one, or I'm not the only one.
Yeah, that's it.
So, and even though I don't really love Alicia and Strand, I was, I felt that was sweet. And then when they land, you get the exciting landing where they're not sure if they're going to make it because Chill has to go over and plug the thing back in. And Which also was
stressful.
foreshadowed, guys. That was foreshadowed in the first episode of season 5 when Alicia trips over the wire. They have all the wires strung up when the plane crashes, and it's to trip the walkers that are coming so she can kill them, and then she trips over them. That was foreshadowed in the beginning of the season. Somebody was going to trip over wire and knock the lights out. But anyway, then after they land, you get everybody meeting up again. You get Alicia and Daniel reunited, and it's so sweet and so cute.
Did any of these picks resonate with you? Have you made a list of your own top 7 favorite moments on Fear the Walking Dead? What would you have placed in this spot and why? Tell us in the comments. Or you can go the extra mile and share them in a podcast rating at ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead. And don't miss out on future opportunities to share your thoughts. Follow us on either Ko-fi or Patreon.